Hello, everybody, or anybody. A little late. Just got back from Meghan Murphy's event. Thought I'd do a late night recap for anybody who might still be up. I didn't get to say too much, but a little bit. The format wasn't really conducive to what I wanted to say, which was a little more controversial. I did sit about 20 feet from Morgane Auger, though.
Hi, my name is Jenn Smith. I'm a local activist on issues related to gender. This discussion that we have here now, though, being kind of from the top down, I think is interesting because a lot of that, I think, relates to the use of language. So I've been very interested in how language is being used in this debate. So recently I talked to Miranda Yardley, who I'm sure you know, over in the UK. We had a discussion about George Orwell and his essay, Politics in the English Language, and he talked about how if you could manipulate and control language enough, you could prevent people from being able to describe their own oppression. Okay? And I think that's what I see going on here with language, and that's why I personally am such a stickler for language in terms of pronouns and stuff like that, in retaining and respecting the right to use the word woman to refer to a biological female. So I'm just wondering what your feelings are in the use of language in this whole struggle.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's intentional. As I said, trans activists refuse to define their terms, and so, you know, the mantra is trans women are women, and then when you say, what is a woman, they back out and refuse to define it, so we don't even know what we're talking about, and I think that it's, again, intentional, because we can't have a real, genuine conversation if words don't have meanings. That's the point of words, that they mean things. I also want to point out that while these activists try very hard to present themselves as, you know, grassroots activists, as radical activists, as, you know, brave revolutionaries, what they're doing is they're using elitist academic jargon to silence and intimidate and, you know, make people who haven't taken a gender studies degree in university feel dumb, feel like they can't participate in the conversation. Like, what do these, it's all jargon, it's all words that nobody understands, that are just invented, you know, to make them sound legit in some ways, but I also think that it's a method of intimidation, and it's totally elitist. Yeah.
You're right that the words, go for it. I think you're right that the words matter a lot. I've been corrected many times for refusing to use the pronouns that somebody claims a right to. I find it, there's a debate. I mean, certainly some people think it's a matter of respect to let somebody choose their own pronoun, but I find it very confusing. And part of me just thinks I'm being asked to agree to the con. And so I find that I'm not willing. So there's that. But I also think that I don't want to be caught in the small end of this discussion. For me, my attachment is to women's liberation. And that means the end of gender. And for me, I'm more than willing to ally with you and with anybody else on you know, what we're all fighting for, basics of what we're all fighting for. But I think there is something wrong with insisting that people can't use their own conception of what's going on. That it's basic to consciousness raising that we tell our own version of the truth and we negotiate with each other about what we're commonly seeing and what we're commonly working with. I refer to this fight as the fight for women-only space and yes. A women-only movement. It's not for me against any, and it's not against men, and it's not against transsexualism even. For me, my loyalty is to the liberation of women. you argue to me that there's something in it for the liberation of women, I'll negotiate. But so far, I don't see it. So, you know, and that matters to me. I'll fight for your housing, I'll fight for your job, I'll fight for other things, I'll fight for your right to wear whatever you want, go wherever you want, sleep with whoever you want, don't care. But my primary fight is the liberation of women.
The one area that I was hoping to get into, but it just would have taken too much time, and they were trying to get as many people to speak as possible, and I didn't want to try to grandstand or steal an unreasonable portion of the attention. The question that I wanted to ask was related to the word trans woman. So Meghan Murphy uses that word, uses the word trans woman, but I happen to believe that the word trans woman is actually part of the reason that we're here, that we're in this situation. It's because there's been a linguistic game that's been played. So my theory is that when you say trans woman, the average person doesn't hear trans woman. What they hear is trans woman, woman being central. So if you go to a transgender activist, and I've illustrated this online, go to some radical trans activist and ask them what a trans woman is. Typically they'll respond by saying, well, a trans woman is a woman that was born a male and blah, 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 blah. But right there, so right at the start of that explanation, there's where the problem is. So a trans woman is a woman. A trans woman is a woman. So it's right in your definition, right? Because they won't say a trans woman is a man. They'll say a trans woman is a woman. And the way language works, that's how we've got to a man actually being a woman, because the trans part is just pushed aside and you're left with woman. So it's kind of a neural linguistic game that's happening there. When you use trans woman, you are granting by reduction the label of woman to a man, because that's the way language works. More than that, it is a kind of a neurological game that's taking place. So all women can sort of understand, well, most women, most intelligent women who still subscribe to reality can understand that if you, letting a man into a female-only space, like a rape shelter or something, that's an intrusion of women-only spaces, and that's unacceptable. But what I believe is happening with the word trans woman is I think that that's kind of a neuro-linguistic equivalent to the invasion of previously women-only spaces. But in this case, it's spaces in the brain. Because when you say trans woman, the brain locks in on woman. And that immediately opens up areas of the brain that are associated with women. So whereas previously those places in the brain associated exclusively with women, men now are occupying that space. So it's like a neurological equivalent of invading women-only spaces. Meghan Murphy doesn't have any problem, she says, using the word trans woman, although there's a debate whether you do trans space woman or if you call trans woman as one word. To me, it doesn't matter. In either case, that trans is going to get pushed away. Furthermore, you've got that neurological game going on. So it's sort of deep psychology. So I kind of don't think that the word trans woman is a good word to be using in this debate. So I refer to myself as a transgender identified male. And I think that's the way to go, because it keeps the sex rates not just only in our language, but in our brains too. So I don't know how other people feel about that. That's what I was going to ask, but then they said that they wanted a short question. So I thought, okay, I can't get into a big explanation. So unfortunately, I'll have to, make it a little shorter.